So let's go back to APRO, right? So there was an APRO convention that we had gone to, and we had seen things at a whole different light, right? So we're talking about regionally, including, so it was in the Tampa Bay area that year. It was regional, and you have these national people that are coming down, right? And we're like, how do we get our word out? At that time, also, we were working with S2 Creative, right? So it was like we saw one side of it, but it was like these messages that we have are a little bit more tailored. The commercials were great. They were absolutely fun to bring people in the door, but it didn't give them a message. It was like, hey, you should come here because this is absolutely great. So what we did was we decided we've got to talk to somebody. Are we going to start a YouTube channel? Like, heck no, man. I don't know nothing about a YouTube channel. And at that time, we didn't know that much about podcasting. We're like, you know what? But we're talking. Mm-hmm. And if we're talking, let's start a podcast. We didn't have to have a camera. We could just talk about it. It was just two guys kind of formulating ideas and discussing them and kind of reviewing them. And so it kind of came out. And we had no idea what we were doing, but we were like, we got to get the message out. So we got a laptop and we got one microphone in between us. We're like sharing a microphone.
You guys are scrappy.
It was crazy. But you know what, though? It was the idea. And he always had a statement. He had a statement that like followed me after he said what it was, ready, fire, aim. And it was like, don't think about it too much. Just do it.
Yes.
And so I literally grabbed something. I grabbed like a free list of, it was Audacity and a microphone that we got. I didn't even know how to do two microphones
Audacity.
at a time. So we were going back and forth, and it was like, let's just put it out. And then, the RTO show was the RTO Show. I mean, what else could it be, right? So it was the RTO show, and then we just started going from there. And then that's how APRO picked us up. APRO was like, hey, man, you guys are doing something that we really haven't seen before. And they were literally, their tagline is the voice of rent to own. And I'm like, well, I'm going to take that. So we started talking about that. And then APRO came and said, hey, I want to sponsor the show. And I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go from there. And it just kept going.
Wow.
And then you've had some really cool opportunities. I was tracking the show recently, Pete, and you had actually had some really cool opportunities to talk to like some of the biggest names in the RTO game over the last like couple months, right? I mean, like you've been talking to like the guys who started it all or really, got their hands dirty and kind of started making the industry what it is, right?
Well, that was kind of part of the Legend series that we started. So with APRO, we've done a couple of things. So number one, the Legend series was to be able to talk to people who were industry 40 years and longer. And now the industry started like in the mid 50s, but as things happen, unfortunately, we lost a couple of people. So we said, all right, let's do 40 years. So in the 80s somewhere, they started these organizations and being entrepreneurs and going to their state houses and being like, hey, we don't even have regulation. Like, we need to get regulation. And there were a lot of people like, I'm not going to sell anything to you because I don't even know who you are, right? Like, you're not going to rent this stuff, right? Are you going to rent it? And so it started, and it just kept going from there. And then amassing all that information with APRO together with the podcast, we were actually able to help make a book called The RTO Revolution. And it was written by Ryan Krass and Charles Smitherman, who, is the CEO of APRO. And together, as we've done that, then we pulled you guys in to do some of the videos so that we can share it with people, everyday people that listen. You can say what you want to, but the people who are using it are definitely glad that we're here. They're using us every day, and they don't even mind going on camera and saying that out loud to the world. Hey, I needed it, and they had my back. That's just as easy as it gets. So,
Charles is that genius that you keep telling me about, right? Charles is the guy with like 57 letters past his name.
He has so many monikers in the back of his name. It's like a choo-choo with a long caboose. And I always poke
like
fun
MD, PhD, RBI.
He is literally certified as a CEO. He is a JD. He is a PhD. And there's something else. And I'm like, dude, like, how long did you go to school for? But he's literally like one of the smartest guys I know. And I think he's climbed like Mount Everest. And now he can say he's written 2 books. I'm like, dude, seriously.
Come on, right? I mean,
leave
awesome.
some of it for the rest of us, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah, leave some effort.
Right.
This is the guy who literally leaves it all on the field. I mean, holy cow.
He does. With that idea, he was like, Pete, we got to talk about the podcast. And at first I was like, oh boy, I'm getting called into the teacher's office. You know what I mean? And he was like, we've got to talk about putting this. APRO wants to back this. Like, what do we need to do? And from there, we got into the RTO HQ magazine that runs 2 times a year. We got a full page ad. We are on their website. They are on our website. And it just goes back and forth. And then again, it helps me reach out to some of the people who have helped me in the industry. You know, S2 Creative was one of the first people that really started doing our videos. I mean, our videos went from like mildly entertaining to holy crap, that's really funny.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. So our first one was this.
Oh,
was a
shucks,
tax
you're
video.
gonna make me blush, boys.
It was this tax video, and it was great because it had this headline, and we were doing it, and I was terrible. And Steven between takes wanted to choke me to death. But it
Dude, you were
being...
taping your script on your buddy's chest.
I did tape it on his
I'm like,
chest.
just learn the lines, man. It's 3 lines.
Some of us can't remember.
Dude, I tell him, I'm like, look, when it comes to ad-libbing, I'm your man. But when it comes to like really getting it, like I was terrible. So eventually we learned to just ad-lib everything. No, I'm just kidding. But we got through it, and it was so much fun, and it created such a buzz that we just kept going with it. And with his help, being able to like really get out to the community, like really, really get out there. And I'm like, okay, what does rent-to-own have that I might want? Because you also have to understand, it's not people just in need, right? Like you said, if I'm going to have a house and I'm trying to sell a house and I'm going to stage it, is that a need or is that a want? I want to stage it. Do I need to? No, but now I have the ability to get like 3 bedrooms of furniture. I can put something in the living room, set something in the dining room, and a month later, if I got it sold, I don't owe you anything. You can come get it, and we're all set.
Literally, you could just.
And it's just the way it goes. And did everybody know that? I don't know. No. But after they saw that tax video, they did now, right? And there was a lot of videos. There was a lot of crazy videos that we made. I mean, we did a Christmas video. We did 2 tax videos. We did the Black Friday video.
Did any of that stuff make it on TV? Was that like TV commercials, or was that just?
No, we're all straight YouTube, and then what's the one that Amberly used to show it in all the stores? Because man, you guys were raging through the stores.
Oh
with
my
that.
god!
Oh, you actually showed it in one of the stores.
Yeah, so there was like
all the stores.
I think it was like Atmosphere or something like that. It was like Atmosphere.
Yeah, like one of those Atmosphere kind of things that show like your own content. So YouTube was going nuts, and then all of their stores were using this Atmosphere program, which allowed all of those videos to kind of like just kind of run in the background of the stores.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so like every 30, 40 minutes. Actually, probably less than that. But I'm gonna say that. I say that, and it was probably less than that. Yeah. So we were actually got to the point where we're actually making videos with our video playing in the background.
Wow!
And we would wait for it. We'd wait for the cycle to come through. Yeah, there's one of them where we're sitting in the chair. We're sitting in the chair, and it was like for Father's Day, and we're like, "Hey, I think that know the guy on the TV," and he's like, "Yeah, I think I know that guy." It was just,
you're jumping into a lake.
Oh my god! It was like we broke the fourth wall in the opposite direction. It was crazy, man. It was. I loved it. I loved every part of it. It was probably one of those things that I could say, I can always go back and say, but have you done this?
Yeah. No, I'm sure you're super proud of that, man.
Oh, I loved it.
Not only that, like you, especially with this Legend series that you've done, and now taking those transcripts and making it into a book of the history of RTO, you're part of it, man. You're a part of the history of the industry. Yeah. Like, how does that feel?
Yeah, you know what? Amazing doesn't get to begin to start that because, as you're doing podcasting, I think a book is probably the farthest thing because you're actually making your books every day, right? You're making your life stories 1 hour at a time. So you're like, you don't think about that. But as this was made, they were like, okay, so there hasn't been a definitive book made in rent-to-own to describe what's going on, right? And we need that because there's that moniker. We might be doing it in our region, but is it going around everywhere? And does everybody really understand how this started and where it's going? So they said, okay, we need to make a book. Number one, for mass distribution so that everybody can understand definitively where we came from, what happened, what legal issues that we had, how we came on board. Definitively also says, hey, if you have AI, where is it getting its information from if you don't have a definitive place to go? And so if it starts pulling it from videos that are not real, right? So in other words, you can have an AI created video, you can have somebody saying something because that one-off chance that it wasn't the best thing in the world, right? And so they made 3 videos about that. But was it really what happened? It's a one-sided story, right? So now it's like, not only do we want to make that outreach, but where is AI getting its information from? If you're Googling something, where is that coming from?
Right.
You definitely want something authoritative out there. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure. Definitely want
and so, of course,
that
Dr. Charles, he was like, hey, man, let's do this. Now, of course, Ryan Kraft, being the CFO that he is, the CTO, excuse me, he was like, hey, we need to do this. And Charles was like, hey, let's facilitate this. They got this idea together. And then I got a phone call. And it was amazing. And then I think that that's where you guys came in when they were like, hey, we're going to also do this because New York is having a little bit of a problem with some of their legal issues that we've had a statute up there for like 25 years, and they're deciding that they want to challenge it or change it a little bit. And we're just not credit. It's not a credit transaction. We want people to be able to bring it back without any burden. That's part of the process. If you have a credit transaction, you go buy a car, well, it doesn't matter what happens to the car. You own the debt. That debt is yours. Unlike rent to own, where if you get it, you can't afford it, you're more than welcome to call them and say, hey, I need a break. It can be a break for a day. It could be a break for a week. It could be a break for a month. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Bring it back. Doesn't go on your credit. And so when they start trying to change it to a credit transaction, we've really got to hold the brakes and say, hey, this is more important. We are trying to watch out for the people in the community that don't need that on their, they already have credit problems. They don't need any more. Right. How do we do that? So then that's when you guys come in and with us and some of the people that are in the industry and say, hey, not only do they need it, but there's a great reason for us. And let me tell you why. And just bring these people in from all over, not just from one company or one area, but all over in one voice and say, hey, we're good. We're so good that we're going to tell you about it. In APRO Video, which is the Association of Progressive Rental Organizations, and that's a huge organization to be a part of. As a matter of fact, in April of next month, we're actually going to D.C. to advocate for rent to own. It's something that I'm a part of every year, and I'm glad to say that I get to go up there and talk to some of the people that you see on CNN and Fox News directly and say, hey, we are doing great, and we love everything you do, but we're good. You don't need to change a thing. We're good.